Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just want to remind everybody, and I was checking Mr. Massey's clock there, his debt clock. We're just about at $34 trillion, and he reminded me that it's $77,000 a second. So I think that's a sober reminder when we're talking about we have to get the fiscal house in order. And but as we talk about it, I recognize that there's lots of accusations out there talking about housing, and I wanted to turn to Mr. Cole, or Chairman Cole, and ask him, you know, with respect for housing, what does this bill do to protect the basic housing needs of vulnerable Americans that we're talking about?
Well, quite a bit, frankly. Again, we're hampered somewhat by, again, as I mentioned in my opening statement, the fact that a lot of the money that normally flows into HUD through refinancing, it's not money we appropriate, it's just simply fees attached to refinancing, has stopped coming in. Why? Because the explosion in spending in previous years, largely under my friends on the other side of the aisle tenure, has meant who wants to refinance at 8% interest rate? Nobody. So again, we maintain the basic levels of funding that are necessary to protect the population that's in public housing now. And by the way, that's no easy task, because anybody, you know, that pays rent knows their rent is going up too, because again, interest rate explosion and you know, again, this excess spending has categories. So we have billions of dollars appropriated to maintain vulnerable populations. We increased housing. Again, and I make this as no partisan charge, but you want to see bad housing, go to an Indian reservation and see what the federal government has not done over 20 years under both Republican and Democratic administrations, Republican and Democratic Congresses. So again, we've tried to maintain where we're at, and at the same time, all we've done is really go back to 1992 levels. Excuse me, 2022, FY 2022 levels and funding. But we've cut back in some areas so we could maintain housing.
And just to be clear, will any evictions happen because of the cuts to the
no.
Hudson? Thank you. And with respect to air travel,
that's actually an area where we've increased spending pretty dramatically and are pretty much in line with what the administration asked for. We recognize that during COVID, we were not maintaining air traffic control output or production of new air traffic controllers at an appropriate level. So we've pretty much given the administration most of what it asked for in terms of updating new technologies, try and make sure that we can move ahead. So FAA is largely untouched in this bill. As a matter of fact, again, will come in above what we've done in the last several years and pretty much in line with where the administration's at.
Dear friends, this is not good. New analysis are showing that even after a Social Security cost of living adjustment, millions of Americans will still fall short. So top lawmakers are working together to propose a new plan that will increase the maximum monthly benefit and solve the program's funding shortfall. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video, especially if you are a senior or a retiree. Also, I will be announcing several winners every Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Social Security checks will increase next year, but for many Americans, the bump is not enough to cover increases in healthcare costs, much less the inflated prices of everything else over the past year. Starting in January 2024, more than 66 million beneficiaries of the program will receive a cost of living adjustment of 3.2%, averaging out to more than $50 extra each month. So COLA is meant to help Americans keep up with inflation so they can maintain their standard of living year to year. But these hikes are falling short. According to the Senior Citizens League, a nonprofit advocate for older adults, the cost of items that older adults spend most of their money on consistently outpaces COLAs. The largest expense is currently health care. And that example only accounts for higher healthcare costs. So when you factor in housing, food, gas, and utilities, the impact gets even worse. And older adults have to hope that their savings can cover the differences, but that is not always the case. According to the latest Census Bureau data, poverty has increased among Americans aged 65 and older for 3 years in a row to 14.1% in 2022, from 10.7% in 2021. The Senior Citizens League said more than 1/4 of adults it surveyed in the first 3 months of the year said they had depleted a retirement account over the past 12 months. That was up from 20% in the second half of last year. And a record 45% of adults said they carried credit card debt for more than 90 days, even as interest rates had increased. Mary Johnson, the Social Security and Medicare policy analyst, said in a recent statement, "Worry that retirement income won't be enough to cover the cost of essentials in the coming months is a top concern. Many are left wondering whether healthcare costs get cheaper." Officials say that cost-saving measures from the Inflation Reduction Act won't come soon enough. Only the $35 monthly out-of-pocket insulin cap for Medicare Part D participants took effect this year. Price negotiations with pharmaceutical companies on 10 prescriptions started this year, but most savings, if any, will not be seen by anyone until about 2026. According to CNBC News, starting January 1st, out-of-pocket spending of $8,000 will automatically get you coverage, so you won't have to pay a copayment or coinsurance for prescriptions covered under Medicare Part D for the rest of the calendar year. A cap on annual prescription out-of-pocket cost sharing of $2,000 is also not expected until the year 2025. The Department of Labor has introduced a rule to minimize junk fees in workplace retirement plans, as well as IRAs. The rule is effectively holding financial advisors, brokers, and many other professionals who give out investment advice for retirement plans to a higher standard. The rule's goal is to eliminate loopholes that currently allow advisors to recommend investments that are not in a saver's best interests, but may pay higher commissions. The White House National Economic Council says that these junk fees can reduce a middle-class household's retirement savings by a whopping 20%. And if the aforementioned proposal passes, it could positively impact millions of Americans who are actively saving for retirement in an IRA or a 401k. The Labor Department also tried to rewrite so-called fiduciary rules during the Obama administration. However, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals blocked that measure in 2018. Some groups believe a new Labor Department rule would stifle uptake of certain investments that are helpful for savers. When the Obama-era rule initially took effect, 29% of brokerage firms reduced advice to investors, and 24% eliminated it. However, this new proposal is more narrowly applied. The Biden administration has been cracking down on junk fees in other contexts, like banking, rental housing, and concert tickets. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Dearest friends, thank you very much for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, every Friday I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.